Hi, I'm Marius from MWest Photography, and welcome back to Digital Photography Today, the show where you will learn how to become the master of your camera. Now, in today's topic, we are going to talk about shooting Wi-Fi, specifically for people who don't have Wi-Fi built into the camera. So there's a lot of people who don't have that function, and they've seen it on my videos where I've got like the SX50HS, and I'm shooting wirelessly on it, and they can't understand why their camera doesn't have that option. So I'm going to show you how I get it there and how I use it. But before we discuss today's topic, I've got two announcements. The first one is we've also now got a Digital Photography Today Facebook group. And you can have a look by going to Facebook and just going to your search bar and type in Digital Photography Today. You'll find a group there. What's nice is the stuff that people have learned. There's now already a lot of members who have joined. The stuff people have learned on my videos and they've applied it to their photography. They now show their work there. And then the other members can also comment on it. And it just further improves that learning experience because people can now comment on each other's work and it's there. They show it, and sometimes someone will do something to the photo and re-upload it and say, okay, this is what I think you should have done. And it's like, okay, awesome, now I've learned something new. So go have a look there, join the group. It's a really nice crowd of people there. And then the second thing is I've added a donation button to my MWest website. So if you go to mwest.co.za, you'll see in the corner there's a donation button. The reason for that is if you don't have millions of views on Facebook, like someone running into a tree and then everyone laughs at him, that guy gets millions of views. If you don't have millions of views, you're not really going to make anything on YouTube. So I really love to make these videos and I love all the feedback I get, but it really takes a lot of time. Like I said in previous videos, sometimes 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, shooting all the different angles, putting everything together, putting it out there, making sure I put the best that I can. So if you love the show and you've enjoyed everything and you've learned a lot about photography and your photography has improved, it's a nice way of saying thank you. Just go to my website, mwest.co.za, look in the corner, you can see there, it starts at $1 and works its way up. And thanks a million to those who have already started to make donations. It really helps a lot. Okay, so let's get to today's episode on Wi-Fi. And there are two different ways you can shoot Wi-Fi. Now you'll see here on my camera, I've got two card slots, and this is what the iFi card looks like. This is now the SanDisk one. You get the original iFi card. I'll have some screenshots on the computer for you to have, or on this video for you to have a look at. Now there are two ways you can set this up. The one is you can have it set up that it's on your PC and it works for your router. So the moment you enter your house after you've been out shooting, your PC will pick up the card. It will transfer all your files wirelessly to your PC. Now the cheaper cards can't do RAW files, so you have to buy the Pro cards if you want to have the RAW files as well. So if you're shooting JPEG, you can do that. I haven't had a lot of success with that because my Wi-Fi here at home is pretty tricky. It's a hectic setup I've got with my routers and my server and all my stuff. So I weren't that successful with setting up the Wi-Fi so the pictures go directly to my PC, but I don't really care about that. For me, I'm shooting on this, you can see I'm shooting two cards. So the first card I've got here is a 64 gig SanDisk. This is saving all my RAW files. Then this, when I'm coming back from a shoot, this I put in my card reader, in my PC, download all my pictures, go straight to Lightroom and enjoy myself editing those RAW files. Now when I'm shooting, when I'm not at the studio, what I love to do is to immediately be able to see my stuff, all my pictures I'm taking. Especially if I'm out doing like landscapes and stuff, just having a restful, I think that's a word, just a nice outing, and I want to be able to see my pictures immediately on my tablet. Then this works great. So on this card, the second card, this is now the 8 gig one, this saves the JPEGs for me, and I've set it to have small JPEGs. So those JPEGs go directly to my tablet and I can view them on the go. So that tablet is in my backpack, it's turned on, and I'm just walking, taking pictures. Wherever I'm sitting down, I just take it out and I can immediately see all my pictures. And if I want to edit them, I'm going to show a little later in the episode, I can edit them immediately and then submit them to Facebook, email to someone, on the go. I don't need to have a laptop, I don't need to worry about power, I don't need to have a cable running from the camera to a laptop, I don't need to tether it. This works awesome. So I'm going to show you how I do that, how I set up this card to send the pictures to. For instance, I usually take this one, my Nexus 7, with me. sometimes the Galaxy 10 inch as well, but this one works nice. It's small. I could even take it in a smaller camera bag. That one works perfectly fine. So I'm going to show you how I take pictures from here to the tablet and then how you edit them. Okay, now how do you set up this card? It's really very simple. There's just a few guidelines you need to follow, otherwise you're going to run into some problems. Also need to stress something very important. Because everyone has got different computers, they've got different cameras, they've got different tablets running different versions of Android. There's just so many, the word's not options, scenarios to what you're using compared to what I'm using. So there might be a problem that something's not syncing or something like that. I can't help you with all the different tablets and cards and stuff like that. Then you're going to have to contact iFi directly for that. I've been lucky that I really haven't had a lot of problems with it. It's been working smoothly. The only thing that did happen, and I think that was just one of the Android updates, because I usually leave my applications on to upgrade, upgrade the moment new updates come out. The tablet can just go on and download them. So what happened is it downloaded the latest update, and then when I was shooting, the pictures just didn't want to go through, and I couldn't understand what was wrong. And then a day or so later, they uploaded a new upgrade for it, and then that one just seems to work again. So stuff like that can happen. It happened only once before where it just didn't want to sync. But like I said, it was something that was wrong with the software. They fixed it, and then 2 or 3 days later, everything worked again. So I'm going to show you the basics of getting it to work, and also a very important point, how you turn this card into like a router, because this is a step that a lot of people don't do, and then they get stuck where they just can't get the thing to send the pictures. Okay, so what you're going to do is when you buy your card, you're going to get your card like this. They come in 4 gig, 8 gig. I don't know about the different other sizes they've got, but I've got 8 gig in here, and then in the PowerShot, the S650HS, I've got a 4 gig one in here, and that's the icon everyone sees in the videos. And I get it in the comment bar, why does your camera have a Wi-Fi icon and mine doesn't? Okay, that's why, because of that 4 gig card I've got in there. So you're going to get your card and a little iFi card reader. I don't know where mine is. I looked for it, just can't find it. You don't need it. You can just put the card straight into a card reader. It's the software for your iFi is going to be on the card. Then you install the software that's on this card on your PC. And then once the installation is done, you're going to have to register the card. The application also will ask you, or not just ask, it's going to tell you it's found a new firmware. Can it load a new firmware? If it asks you for that, download the latest firmware, because if the firmware on here is the latest and the firmware on your tablet is the latest, there shouldn't really be any problems. That's also something that goes wrong. You've got a very old firmware on here and then the latest software on your tablet. So just make sure everything is updated and it shouldn't give you any problems. So then you install the software that's on this card. It's a once-off thing you do. Okay, once you've got the software installed on your PC, the next step you're going to need to do is to register this card. Now I can't remember, I've done this quite a while ago. Somewhere along the installation process, it's going to ask you to register this card. Then what you do is you're going to get it's going to pick up, it's a new card, it's not really registered yet. So it's going to take you to a screen that you're going to fill in all your details and everything. If I remember that correctly, I think it's like 2 years or so ago I did this. So I'm trying to remember what the screen looked like. So you're going to it's going to ask you to put all your details in, and also the email address you want to use to assign this card to. Now, why this is important, the moment you put your tablet on and you install the software on your Android or your iPad, it's going to ask you to log in with that email address and your password. So when you log into your account on your tablet, it's going to show you all your assigned cards. So that's why it's important to register it to an email address. And that's why you've got to do that. So that when you log into your tablet knows which cards you've got. Otherwise, it can't just search for a card. It needs to know what you've got. And you need to enable it so it connects with each other. Okay, so once you've got that done, there's only one step that I find people don't know about, and then once they start to transfer or start to take pictures, nothing is happening. Okay, so when you are shooting out and about, you don't have a router. So how does your card, your iFi card, know it needs to send the picture to your tablet? It doesn't know. So there's no router for it. It's just going to try to connect, but it doesn't know where to. The same with your tablet. It doesn't know where the card is because it can't see it. There's no router. When you get home, your router picks it up and starts to send the files to your PC. So what you need to do is you need to make this card think it's a router, and it's called direct mode. So when you've got the card in your PC, you're going to see, like on the screen grab I've made here, you can see my card there in the corner, and then there's also a little gear icon to click on for settings. So click on that. Then you're going to get this screen. It's got public network public networks, direct mode, and also public hotspots. So now you click on direct mode, and you're going to see below that there's an option called manage with a tick box that says when no known Wi-Fi networks are in range, start the direct mode network. So you enable that tick box, and then when you've done that, this card is now like a router. That's a very important step. If you don't do that, the two devices are not going to be able to communicate with each other. So now when I'm shooting on this, it's important that on my tablet, my Wi-Fi is enabled. If your Wi-Fi is not turned on, again, these two are not going to see each other. So what's going to happen when you start to take pictures, this thing is going to be like an open network waiting to connect to the tablet. And then when you take pictures, it's going to send it straight to your tablet. I'm going to show you how that works soon. But that's a very important step. Make sure you turn on the direct mode. Okay, so let me show you on your tablet how to log into the card or into the software, and then you're going to see all my cards there. And then we're going to do a quick little shoot. I'm going to take a picture of some begonias, I think is the word of the flower. I'm going to do just 1 or 2 or 3 shots of that. I'm going to also show you how I create like a blue sky, but I'm in the studio. So I'm going to show you how to do that with a flash. Then we're going to take those pictures. It's going to be sent directly to the tablet. I'm going to have a camera recording the tablet screen so you can see what that does as well. And then we're going to edit that image. I'm going to show you a very nice program that I love to use. It works awesomely. It's called Photomate R2. And with that, it's very similar to Lightroom. So I love using Lightroom. So this is a very nice extension of my workflow from my PC to the tablet when I'm out and about and taking pictures. Okay, so let's have a look at setting up the tablet. Okay, once you've downloaded the iFi application on your Android tablet or your iPad, once you open up, you're going to get a screen like this. It says enter your email address and your password. So I'm going to do just that and enter my email address and then my password. Then I'm going to go to sign in. It's going to authenticate. And then you're going to see here when I go to that little gear at the top and I go to my iFi device settings, it's retrieving the devices I've got, and there you can see the 2 cards that I've got. So if I remember correctly, I had to assign the card here. I think so. I did this very long time ago. So maybe just going to have to set the card in here as well, but this is where it shows you what you've got. That's why it's important that you register your card to an email address, so that when you open up, your devices are all in here. And there you can see my 10-inch tablet as well as my Nexus 7. Okay, so you'll also find in here application preferences. You've got the at the top full screen that, as you can see, they always show your new photos from my iFi card in full screen. So when you've got that selected, once the images come through, it's going to immediately open the image full screen. And then also automatically connect is also very important for me. So it will automatically connect to iFi when the card is set to direct mode. Okay, there's also some other options in here, but those are the most important for me. And yes, once we start shooting now, you're going to see all the pictures opening up here while we are shooting.
Okay, now we're going to take some pictures of begonias. For my light setup, I've got a light stand with a SP800 Nikon speedlight and a Cactus V6 transceiver. If you haven't yet seen my series of videos on the Cactus V6s, go have a look at them. These guys are amazing. I can control multiple flashes from this one unit all at the same time, even if it's a Canon and a Nikon flash mixed together, even Pentax or of other third-party flashes, it controls them all. So very nice units. You can also use window light for this. With a nice side curtain or just some diffusion material, you're going to get the same effect. That's why I've got a white umbrella, just to diffuse that light. Okay, now I said I'm going to show you how to get a nice blue sky in the background. So how we're going to do that is, if you look behind the begonias, there's another flash right there on the Cactus V6 with a little stand, and that's a SP910. And what I've got on there is a blue gel. So when I'm going to press the shutter here, those flashes are going to fire. The one light is going to light the flowers, going to give some nice soft lighting, and the flash in the background is going to give me that blue sky. When I'm pressing the test button here, you can hear the flash go off. You should be able to hear that clicking sound. So that's the test button. And that's my phone, low bat. Okay, so I'm checking here on the tablet, and you can see there the Wi-Fi card is connected. Now the quality, I'm using the Nikon D3100 to record the tablet screen. Usually I'll use a D7000 because I've got everything in manual, from focusing to exposure, everything, and I can really get it looking good. This camera is now just recording in auto. I don't like the quality of it, but bear with me, it doesn't look as good, but it's the only way we can now see the pictures go through. Yeah, I've got the D7000 with the 70 to 200 2.8 lens, and for my settings I'm shooting on manual, 200th of a second, and f4, ISO 100, and a white balance of flash, because I want to make sure my white balance is set the same as what I'm shooting with. Okay, so I'm going to make sure the first flash, the one in the background, is turned off, and then this flash is turned on. I'm going to focus and then shoot. Now sometimes the picture comes through immediately, like there, it just immediately comes through. Sometimes it takes a second or so, and there you can see we've got our first image. Again, I apologize for what this Nikon D3000 is doing to the picture. You can see I can zoom into the picture there, and there we can see the one image. It's copied from the card. Now I'm going to turn the flash on in the back as well. I'm just going to test it. Okay, it is firing. I can see the blue color there. I'll take the exact same shot. But if you look in the background, you can see I've got this nice blue color in the background. There the picture is coming. If I want to, I can increase the blue. I can, for instance, I'm shooting now at 1/4 power. I can turn it to, say, 1/2 power. So now it's going to be a lighter or brighter blue. So if you compare those two, you'll see the second one is just that little bit lighter. And there you can see that we've got that image of the blue as well. So just look how quickly this is. And because I've got it set up to show the image immediately as it's coming through, I can have my tablet on the little keyboard stand I've got. And while I'm shooting, just keep looking at all my results as it's coming through and just keep on working. So it's really a bliss using it like this. Okay, so let's have a look at Photomate R2, at how we can edit this image with a very similar approach as to what we've got with Photoshops Lightroom. Okay, before we go over to Photomate R2, I first want to show you the difference in image quality, or the recording quality, when I'm recording on the D7000 compared to the D3100, which I used when I shot the pictures. Okay, so you'll notice when we shot the pictures, the video quality that came through to the D3100 on the tablet was terrible. The images were blown out. It looked horrible. So I apologize again for that, but I was using the D7000 for the pictures. I didn't have any other option. So if I open the picture now and you look at it on this camera when I'm recording on the D7000, you'll notice when I'm zooming in here, it looks beautiful. Everything is nice and sharp and the colors are not blown out. The same if you go over to the next image, which has the blue background, and then when I go further, the much lighter blue background, everything just looks a lot better because the camera recording does a much better job. Okay, now when I want to open this in Photomate R2, I'm going to close this and open the Photomate R2 program. Now I've already got all my folders and things set in here, but I'm going to sidestep this and go directly to the iFi folder. Now I've done a lot of videos on Photomate R2 and even the application before that, the original Photomate, which is all on my channel. Some of the videos are pretty lengthy when I go into all the details. So if you're interested in that, you can also go back to my videos and watch them there. I don't want to show everything in here because the video is going to get terribly long, and the main focus for this video is shooting raw to your camera. I just want to introduce you to an application which I love to use. Okay, so Photomate R2, what I like is it's very similar to Lightroom. And I love to use Lightroom, especially when I'm doing my RAW files. Now, a nice thing about R2, it also does RAW processing. And it doesn't just read the embedded JPEGs like a lot of other apps sometimes do.
it reads the actual raw data. And you would expect that to make the application very slow, but it actually handles it very well. You'll see here at the top, it's got all my EXIF data. I do this in Lightroom as well. I want to see all my EXIF data as I'm going through my pictures. So there I've got my EXIF data. There's a lot of stuff you can customly set in this application as well, which I'm not going to do now. Like I said, it is going to make this this video very long. I want to focus just on showing you what this program can do. Now you can see right there's a little pencil. So if I click that, it's going to open up the editing screen, which is all the editing functions here, which is again very similar to Lightroom. Now what I like right here is I've got all my images here. So if there was like 100 pictures, they'll all be in this row right here, very similar to Lightroom, which is normally at the bottom, but it's very nice. I can just go immediately to a specific image. Come on, Mr. Tablet. I just clicked on a picture. Okay, it woke up. Okay, right. So there I've got my picture. If I want to go back to that one, I just click and it goes over to that one. So in this corner right here, at the top, you've got your camera settings that you used, your EXIF data. Then you've got here under basics, you've got your white balance. You've got under exposure, you've got brightness, exposure, contrast, recovery, full light, blacks, clarity, vibrant, saturation. These are all the same as you've got in Lightroom. Then you've got your sharpness settings, you've got lens adjustments, you can do your distortion and everything in here. You've got vignetting, which is very nice. I'm going to show you, I'm just going to go to another image because I'm going to work on this one, which is the blue background. You've got settings for chromatic aberrations. The color adjustments is awesome. I love to use the luminance in Lightroom, so I've got this here as well. I'm going to show you what that does. You've got effects like your grain. Now this is very nice. You've got lots of filters, the same as you've got in Lightroom, like gradient filters, circular filters, brushes, all those same type of features built into this app. Lasso filters, you've got red eye, very nice curves function. If you look at this, it shows the curve and you can go to specific colors as well. I've got a very nice detailed video on the curves function. So if you click on that video right there with the link, you can watch that, where I go into a lot of detail with this curves. I really love the way the curves work. And you've got your previews at the bottom, and you can also save your settings as a template and also sync files. So very similar, like I said, to Lightroom. I'm sounding like a broken record now. Okay, so say for instance, I want to change the blues in the background. I can go to the luminance right here, and I can just use the blue slider. And if I go to the minus side, you'll notice the blues will become darker, or I can make the blues even brighter. So I can do this with the luminance slider. Now all the other colors in here, for instance your greens, you can also play around with the greens. So I can make the greens a little lighter there, or I can make them darker as well. And you've also got your reds. You'll notice there are some reds in here as well. So you can play around with that in the luminance slider. Then let's add a little bit some of vignetting. You can go to the white side, the same as with Lightroom, or you can go to the black side. And you can bring in the vignetting there around the corners. I can, for instance, say maybe add a little bit of clarity, which you'll notice immediately there. If I take it back, look at that section right there, and look at it when I add the clarity, and you'll immediately see the mid-tone contrast happening right there. And I can maybe bring in a little bit of blacks, add some contrast in there. Now if I want to see the before and after, like I said, this is a very quick edit, but this is only an intro. I can do that, and I can see the before and the after. I can switch it over to that side, see the before and the after, or that way. Lots of flexibility. Okay, so when I'm done, you'll notice it saves all your settings. So when I go back, it's already applied all those settings there. If I click on it again, you'll notice. So when I click on the pencil right there, you'll notice it has already, you can also see that little icon right there. It already has all those images applied. It remembered everything that I've done. Okay, so I can either save it now as a file, or I can now share it. So if I'm going to go to that image and then go to the share icon right there, you're going to see the share via toolbar or box opening up of all my options. So I can either print it, add it to my Dropbox folder, send it as an email, I can go to Facebook. So if I go to Facebook, it's going to open Facebook, and there you can see my picture, and I can just send it straight from here. Or I can, for instance, maybe send it to someone as an email. So there you've got email, there's also got Gmail. Go there, it's going to go straight. There's the picture, and there's the email address where I want to send it. Everything on the go, straight from the program. So Photomate really makes it very easy for me to edit on the go. Okay, that's all for this week's episode, and I hope you've learned a lot about Wi-Fi, especially if you've got an older camera and you couldn't previously have your images sent on the go to a tablet or a smartphone. This is really easy. Just insert a card into your camera, set up everything, there you go. Instant bliss when you can see all your pictures on the go. Okay, that's all for this week's episode, and if you haven't done this yet, like really, come on, press that subscribe button and get my episodes as they come out. And that's all for this week's episode, and I'll see you again next week.